William Shakespeare. The name is one that is not uncommon to those within academic circles, and even outside of them. Famous plays such as Romeo and Juliet are very familiar to the general public. As any famous person, anything surrounding them can be called into scrutiny. In this case of William Shakespeare, original and accurate portraits of him are rare, and it stands to reason that they may be doubted as to if they are originals. One specific case would be the flower portrait of Shakespeare that was thought to have been accurate, but was proved to be a fake by the National Portrait Gallery experts who found that it was not painted in his lifetime. A more recent case that is still being heavily debated is the Bard painting, that was until recently in possession of the Cobb family. Alec Cobb, after walking into London's Trafalgar Square, saw a famous portrait of the Bard and came to realize that he had one at home. After using a number of tests, including tree ring dating to determine the age of the wood panel, X-ray examination at the Hamilton Kerr Institute at Cambridge University, and infrared reflectography, they are convinced that it is an original. The first, and possibly most obvious, is expert visual examination. For paintings, visual examination includes naked eye observations with or without the use of microscope. Naked eye visual examinations can provide information pertaining to late stages of deterioration such as transparency of the varnish, color balance, and cracks. On the other hand, visual examination is used by many experts to check the style of a painting. For example, the shapes of the brushstrokes can provide information about the period of the painting and the actual author.
Another method that is used is radiography. A radiograph of a painting reveals what is beneath the surface paint layer, in the same manner that a medical X-ray reveals the bones under the skin. In one case, where the authenticity of a painting was questioned, someone believed that a 19th century forger could have easily painted the current portrait on top of an old painting. To ensure that wasn't the case, the painting was radiographed. In this case, the radiograph did not show the presence of another painting underneath the portrait that was visible. Historical evidence can also be used in the form of different types of documentation. Letters from the time period that state when it was painted and who did the work. This type of information can at times be misleading. These things can also be forged or misinterpreted. It can be used for deceiving purposes as proof and cannot prove or disprove the originality of the artwork completely. Paint and brush analysis is another tool that is used. This method shows how an artist's personal brush style can affect the work that is being analyzed. It also shows how a certain kind of brush had to be used to make it, and all the bristles on the brush were the correct type for the time period. Certain paints are also specific to the time periods. Samples taken from the paintings can be tested, and the results can ensure that the type of paint corresponds with the time period in which the work has been created. Infrared and ultraviolet imaging is also used quite commonly. Infrared reflectography, as called by the art historians, are taken of paintings to reveal underlying layers. In particular, the outline drawn by the artist as a guide. This often uses carbon black, which shows up well. Art historians are looking to see if the visible layers of paint differ from the underdrawing or layers in between. This is very useful information in deciding whether a painting is the prime version by the original artist or a copy, and whether it has been altered by over-enthusiastic restoration work.
These different processes are very helpful in determining authenticity of work and ensure that credit is given where it is due.